by now, the data is clear. Homeschoolers as a group score 15 to 30 points above the average academically. And homeschoolers are often social leaders as well. And just this week in Texas, we got a brand new example of the fact that homeschooling works. Noelle Jett, a homeschool graduate, just graduated from the University of North Texas with her PhD in education at the age of 19. That's right. And she graduated from Texas A&M University with a BA in psychology when she was 16 years old. Her parents say they chose homeschooling because it gave them the freedom and the flexibility to give her the education she needed. And of course, that's what we all know. Freedom to let parents use their God-given right to make decisions for their children always works in the best interest of children.
And she graduated last year, magna cum laude, from Harvard University. She was 12 for 12 at the best colleges in the whole nation on acceptance day: Stanford, Columbia, Penn, Brown, Duke. She went up spending a year at Oxford and finishing a tougher class there. Now she's getting a 2-year free ride at the best university in Germany for her master's degree in economics. She's a real brain surgeon, and homeschooling made her disciplined. It taught her to sacrifice. It taught her to be a self-starter. Taught her to be achievement-oriented. All the things that she learned watching her dad instead of going to a school each day.
We want to teach our kids in a homeschooling environment that allows them to know, how to think instead of what to think. That puts them on a different level where they're not sheltered because they can pursue whatever they want to pursue. And they go out and they can find the answers. They go out and self-educate. It's encouraging for us to know that I can learn as much as I can, give those tools to him, and then he can go greater or further than I ever did.
We believe that students should be in charge of their own learning. And thirdly, we believe that asking great questions is far more important than regurgitating correct answers. In fact, learning to do and learning to be outweigh simply learning to know.
And there's there's different lessons. It's different lessons. It's hard. It's really challenging and good.
On Khan Academy, which is math, they have like algebra and geometry and trig, so we set goals for what we want to accomplish in that. And then we set writing goals because there's a journaling question every day. And then we set reading goals for how many books or pages a week.
I read 2 hours a day, mostly.
At public school, I actually almost didn't pass for reading, and now I'm scoring like 10th grade for reading, and we don't even actually work on reading comprehension at school, so it's kind of crazy.
Today I'm at my business called Foreign Fortunes, and I'm doing card tricks for $1. My product is candy sushi. Inside each roll is, which is made of Rice Krispie, is 2 Twizzlers for imitation crab and cucumber.
Action Children's Business Fair is a fun fair where a bunch of kids can come and be an entrepreneur for a day and learn how to make profit.
I've probably made a little bit like $250.
Last year it was around $300, so hopefully this year it'll be around $400.
If I sell out, I'll earn $3,700.
It's a really interesting experience because adults start to treat you like adults. That's their money they're talking about. They want something good that they can invest in.
Rice paleo cookies are different from any other cookie because they're processed sugar-free, only natural sweeteners, and the gluten-free and dairy-free and high in protein. Cupcakes and the cookies are made with gluten-free ingredients, and we try to keep it as natural as possible. I wanted to do something that showcased my art talents, and I think this business has a bigger target audience because everyone writes stationery. If you don't challenge, you won't struggle. And if you don't struggle, you won't learn the basics, of learning.
The most important thing that you need to learn and understand is that you don't have to do it like everybody else. You don't have to do it like the school system does it. You don't have to do it like the neighbor down the street or that homeschooler that you think is just amazing. Do it like you need to do it for your family, because every family is unique and every child is unique.
You don't push a string because it'll go every which way, but you pull it along. Cindy, you pull your children along gently. You don't push them. You pull them along. Set another goal a little bit higher. Good job, son. Good job, daughter. Set another goal. and make it so they can reach it.
And I don't see myself as a teacher necessarily. I see myself more as a mentor and a facilitator, and I try to let my kids lead the way as much as they can.
None of those goals have anything to do with education, ACT scores, math skills, nothing. They're about an adult who can live their life to the very fullest.
We focus on what I feel is important, and sometimes that's not math and it's not science. but we focus on important things, and the other things seem to turn out well.
This is what being a family is all about. This is what being a parent is. When things are difficult, when tempers are on the verge, and a parent is able to teach a child, those are the true parenting moments.
All these efforts, you're just pouring in love for your child to better their future. And that can be a fun task in itself. A mother knows their kids better than anyone else, and there's no amount of money you can pay someone that's going to do as good a job, even if you're not educated.
I homeschool because I have so much greater goals for my kids than anyone else does, and I want to see them reach the stars, and I just don't trust anyone else to give them the tools that they need to be able to do that.
We're at the FPEA convention. This is the largest homeschool convention in the United States. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I am with Bob White. Bob White is running for governor of Florida, and he's here at the convention. And I want to talk to you, Bob, just a little bit about homeschooling and very specifically about education, because one of the reasons that this has become so large in the state of Florida as well as in the nation is specifically because of the education system and our education problem. And I just wanted to get your view specifically on education, because that's one of the largest budgets, as you know, in the state of Florida.
Well, you're absolutely right, Randy. You know, it's an $88.7 billion budget, and of that, $21 billion is K through 12, another $3-4 billion for higher education. And we do have some pretty significant problems within public education in the state of Florida. And I'm getting ready to release, just this week, I'll be releasing a position paper, our actual white paper, if you will, on education and the reforms that we're proposing for education, public education here in the state of Florida. The reason I'm here at this forum is that I'm a big fan of homeschooling. And one of the things that I believe that we have got to do is we've got to make sure that we protect our homeschool industry.
I feel strongly about homeschooling out of my perspective of having been a former public school teacher. I know that I loved my job. I considered it a ministry, but there were things that happened in my classroom that were really out of my control. Children that came to me that had some less than stellar home situations, they didn't have much structure in their lives, and sometimes that resulted in some acting out that was inappropriate for the classroom. For that reason alone, I feel really strongly that homeschooling is just a great option, because children aren't being exposed to behaviors that are sometimes extreme, that are sometimes inappropriate for the classroom.
I'm passionate about homeschooling because I've seen the fruit in families. I've worked with thousands of families across the country. I know some of the things that my girls got to do that they wouldn't have gotten to do had they been in a conventional school setting, from professional acting to missionary work to running their own company. But most of all, it's the relationships, and my children recognize the gift of the relationships that they were able to build because their focus was on the home.
And they want to convey a real sense of enthusiasm for not just homeschooling your family, but for this wonderful movement that homeschooling has become and is, because I think that, you know, homeschooling has created so many things, you know, homeschooling sports leagues, support groups, co-op groups, and there's so many ways that homeschoolers and homeschooling in the movement have come together to create such a wonderful, diverse kind of community. So I want to encourage people to participate in that and to really be a part of it.
Family is quite simply the most important thing in this world. Family is the foundation of society. And in a time that we're living in where people are trying to sweep the importance of family under the rug, we see firsthand how important family is, with the lack of academic success in public schools, with rising incarceration rates, with so much sadness and hurt in our country. And the way to get back to, I think, our success of America as a country is going back to the importance of family and putting that first. And homeschooling is establishing, again, the importance of family structure in the children, in the lives of a community, and in the lives of a nation as well. Public schools are a relatively new invention. Many of our founders were in private schools or homeschools. Abraham Lincoln was homeschooled at many parts of his life. Many of our other founders were homeschooled. And when you look at the future of our country, I am convinced that the future leaders, the future world changers in our country are going to be homeschool graduates. The piece of encouragement I would want to leave with you as a homeschooling family is actually what we read in Scripture. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Well, as a homeschooling graduate, I'm passionate about homeschooling because I've seen firsthand the impact that it makes in the lives of students. Parents have a tremendous impact on their children just by being involved in their lives, but for parents who take the special step to invest their time, their energy, their resources in their children, that has a potential to impact the child in such a powerful way. I'm the oldest of 5 children. All 5 of us have been homeschooled. My youngest sister is the only one who still has some to complete. She'll finish this year. My wife comes from a homeschooling family as well. So just in my own personal life, I have 10 examples of students, people who've now become adults who are so much more invested in their spiritual lives, in their social lives, in their political lives, because their parents decided to be invested in them at a young age. I've benefited firsthand from that investment because my parents chose to invest their time, their effort, and their energy in me. And now as a parent myself, I have the opportunity to make that same investment in the lives of my children. And I know that that's a right, that's an opportunity that every parent should have. You know, the physical, the temporal advancements that homeschoolers make as productive members of society is tremendous. But the spiritual impact that we can make as citizens and in the lives of our families is tenfold much better. And that's the biggest thing for me, is that I know homeschooling works.